Hi there everyone, and welcome to my new fragrance channel called Elixis. Today we're reviewing a cologne called Nautica Voyage. It's a very cheap first starter cologne for anybody just getting into it. As a matter of fact, this was my first ever cologne when I first started collecting. Now my collection is not very big, but this was where I started. This was my starting ground. It is a nice spring and summer fragrance that we are going to go in depth into today. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is pop the cap off, and we're going to spray it on our arm just to test it out to see what the fragrance smells like. Now, right off the bat, I want to say that this fragrance does smell good. This fragrance smells like a freshly cucumber fruity green aquatic scent that we're going to go into more into detail. Released back in 2006, this fragrance has been around for quite a while, although in my opinion I still think that this lives up to a lot of the hype. As someone who got this when he was first starting his fragrance collection, I can say that this is a very good start to someone who is just getting into fragrances. Although it's very synthetic, the top notes, in my opinion, I smell a lot of green leaves and apple combined with this very cucumbery-like note, and in the middle I smell more around the lines of a lotus type of note mixed with some mimosa. It makes it a very fresh and clean scent without smelling very soapy. This fragrance would be absolutely perfect for the summertime, although it really does not last that long. It is very high quality despite the low price point it has, and in my opinion it's very good for a everyday wear type of scent in the summer. You could probably pull this off in the spring, but you would not have that much performance. This is a fragrance that will get you compliments. Although it is kind of basic and a little bit on the cheaper side, it's very high quality for the price, and you may get some compliments with it. This fragrance in public will probably smell very green smelling, very fruity and floral, mixed with a lot of fresh aquatics. It is a very pleasant smell. It's not going to be very offensive to people that walk past you when you wear it, but it does become a skin scent very quickly. So just be wary of that when you spray it on as many times as you do. In general, when I wear this fragrance, I spray it about 4 to 5 times on myself. I don't spray fragrances very much compared to some other people, but you could probably get away with almost up to 8 sprays on yourself with this without being too cloying. This fragrance is very light and is kind of hard to pick up on, so do overspray if needed. When you put this all together with this fragrance, the best way I think I can describe it is it's a nice fruity cucumber-like morning dew. So to go over everything that we talked about so far about this fragrance, let's talk about its performance. Performance on me, I usually get about 3 to 5 hours with this fragrance. It's not very long, but it's very doable if you want to use it during the gym or for a very slight occasion that you want to pull it off in the summertime. It's perfectly easy to do that. The notes, as we talked about before, will be listed right here under the performance. I will also list the price of the most common places that I found it on discounter stores. You can usually run anywhere between around $25 to $45 for this fragrance, depending on the size that you get. Do I think this is also a safe blind buy if you decide to buy it online without even testing it? I think so. I think anyone that is a fan of that fresh, clean, kind of green, fruity smelling DNA, almost you could call it, I think would enjoy this. And for the price, you really can't complain. If I had to give this fragrance a rating, because this was the first fragrance I ever had, so I have some slight bias too, and because it's a great first fragrance for anyone, honestly, starting a fragrance collection, I think I would have to give this fragrance a 65 out of 100. Little bit of bonus points just because of my bias and it being the first ever fragrance that I bought for myself. But I could also see how anyone who's just getting into fragrances would gravitate towards this fragrance. It's a very light, nice, non-offensive smelling fragrance. That is going to do it for the first ever fragrance review that I am doing on this channel. If you enjoyed, please hit that like button and subscribe if you feel like it. If not, there's no hard feelings. And I appreciate you sticking to the end, listening to my fragrance review of Nautica Voyage. And until the next review, I'll see you guys in the next one.